This is Retrospect Designs. We fabricate custom store fixtures for retail use, and we do some small residential furniture items as well, with a focus on using reclaimed materials that are sourced here locally on our island.
We spend quite a bit of time thinking about aesthetics of things as well as functionality. So it's all custom. Each project is different, and it kind of has to be when you're using reclaimed wood, because you got to be able to roll with what you can find. So as far as where we get wood, Reuse Hawaii is a really great source. Basically, they go through where they're demoing old buildings, tearing stuff down. They'll go in and salvage anything that can be reused, basically, and put it in their retail space. They'll categorize it by if it's flooring or if it's, fixtures. They have a whole section for old tools.
You can extend the lifespan of something that once had a life, and for some people still has a life, even longer.
Whole Foods Market forever, environmental sustainability has been at the heart of who we are as a business. And so when we have an opportunity to partner with another business that shares that ethos and shares that commitment to thoughtful sourcing, it absolutely makes sense. And with Retrospect, of course, that is expressed in a commitment to using reclaimed materials. And we love that they have soul, that they've had a previous life and they're getting reused rather than making their way into the landfill. And we get to make them beautiful again and functional and just give them a second life.
Especially in a place like Hawaii where we're so confined, you really have to reduce, you really got to reuse, and you really got to recycle. And in this case, you really got to reclaim. The way that we use, big agriculture and the way that we get our food is one of the biggest impacts on the environment due to deforestation and carbon emissions of transporting food thousands of miles and stuff. So I love making aquaponic and hydroponic systems because those are systems that allow you to grow your own food, and then you're transporting it, a couple yards from your backyard to your kitchen, and it's all organic. And then I like to use the reclaimed wood to build these fixtures or build these systems, and I think that's one of the best things you can do to reduce your carbon footprint and to have a big impact on the environment. If you're ever at home and maybe you guys are throwing away a cabinet or something, or you see your neighbor across the street throwing away some wood, that's all wood that you could reclaim and make something out of. Another part of reclaimed wood I really like is all the character it has. It has a lot of these little nicks and holes in it and random little stains, and a lot of times people think that's a bad thing, but there's this Japanese philosophy called wabi-sabi, which kind of translates to there's beauty in imperfection. Like all this wood, it's not perfect, but it still has a lot of character to it. And it's environmentally friendly, which is always a plus. With reclaimed wood, you can't be as careless. You really got to kind of focus a little bit more because there's more variables.
Reclaimed wood will have nails or screws in it. It's crucial to inspect stuff by hand, just really look it over before you run it through a saw to make sure you're not going to get some kickback on the table saw. And sometimes that means working around stuff. So if you have this nice piece of wood but it's got a few nails right in the middle of it, you might have to sacrifice that piece in favor of something else, or cut out those pieces where you have nails in them and then put the other pieces together, and that can be a really cool look also. One of the first things to consider is old finishes on reclaimed wood. If there's already paint on something that you are getting from another source, I feel like you should just assume that it's lead-based paint. First thing I'll do, even when I walk in here, is just grab the earmuffs and put those on, and then pull out a dust mask, and depending on what the project is, I'll get a respirator also, especially if I'm working with the clear coat or with any kind of paint. Goggles also. We use kind of more like dirt biking goggles, like ski goggles, but just clear lenses to make sure to minimize any risk of exposure to old lead-based paint and keep conditions as safe and healthy as possible.
you go to the trouble and the expense of doing a custom build because you have a really particular need that doesn't work for an off-the-shelf solution, then it really makes sense to take the time and the care for that custom creation to be special, to be something that you're going to use for a long time and that reflects your values, that reflects your intentions and your standards. And that's something that we definitely get when we work with Retrospect.